All right, 2026 F450. Trying to get this little bumper corner step on here. Couldn't order it as an option for some reason, even though my wife's got a 25 F350 single rear wheel and you could get it on that. But I bought the accessory. This bolts up under there and then that step flips down. The instructions suck. And there's one little detail they failed to mention. And I guess I'm stupid. But this bracket right here, these two bolts and then these two and this little corner 90-degree bracket here, it literally keeps the bumper supported. If you stand on the bumper without this bolted in, the bumper will just fall down. It'll drop down an inch when you loosen these two bolts anyway right here. I thought you were supposed to put this step, lay it over top of that, and it almost fits, but it don't quite fit. And I wrestled that thing forever and ever, but I just wanted somebody to, maybe if they needed this, to watch it. I've gotten a lot of help off YouTube in the years, and I'm not here to babble on forever. But the bottom line is you take that freaking bracket off, and then you put this step in place of it. And not only does it hold the step, but it actually is the body brace for the bumper. So go figure, but the instructions don't tell you that. All right, here's that body bracket, support bracket that ties the bumper to your receiver. Those two bolts and those two bolts, 21 millimeter there, 15 millimeter there. Take them off, bracket comes out, the bumper will drop down about an inch, so you'll have to line the bumper back up when you get ready to put this thing in its place. All right, I've got it, just the bolts on to keep it from falling down. Got that 21 millimeters, another one. There, you can see it right there. And like I said, this bumper, it's loose when you loosen that. In my case, it just needs to be pushed all the way back up when you tighten it, but you need to check the alignment left to right with your tailgate, and it might help to have somebody assisting you, but you can do it by yourself. All right, here's the finished product. This step, bumper step mechanism, it actually replaces that structural member, which kind of seems odd, and the instructions sure didn't say discard that. Who would have thought? But anyway, I think this is a pretty stout setup here, and it'll be fine. This bolt right here, it said 111 foot-pounds. I was afraid I was going to strip the thing. I just tightened it to 86, which is what these two bolts called for, is 86 foot-pounds. These are 21 millimeter. Like I said, that's a 15. And let me get out from under here. And this is what it looks like when you're done. All right, there you go. All right, guys, this is the forward part number. I'll keep that on there a second so you can read it. I think it fits pretty much anything from a 2017 up through a 26, probably 250, 350, and 450. These instructions here say Ford SuperDuty 2017, 250, 350, and it's got a QR code there, and I'll put a link to that. But when you click on that QR code, these are the instructions you get, and they're basically made by AMP. And like I said, it says 2017, 250, 350. But nowhere in here does it tell you to throw away that structural member. And to be honest with you, the pictures, they've changed the design. The pictures don't even come close to lining up really to what the parts look like now. So it's really just kind of a confusing mess. And then right here, they tell you to loosen those three bolts that I was videoing. Do you see a cross member in there? No, I do not. Does it say anything? It says remove nut. Loosen the slide bracket into position. Well, first off, you can't slide it into position because it's got holes, but I think the older brackets may have had a notch in them. Matter of fact, I think I saw that up here somewhere. Yeah, right here. You've got this little notch where you could slide it into position, but there's 2 holes in the new bracket. So anyway, just bad instructions, and I guess had a brain fart or DA, whatever you want to call it. But YouTube's helped me out a lot over the years, so I thought I'd do a quickie on this one and maybe save somebody else a lot of trouble. I'm embarrassed to say I probably, between setting up and clean up and using pry bars and getting my son to help me, I probably wasted 8 hours one day messing with this and was ready to take it back to Ford. And I had a eureka moment in the middle of the night when I got up to pee, and I said, I bet you're supposed to take that bracket off. And that was the whole issue. Hope this helps somebody out. There you go.